What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Slakks YouTube channel. Today we are jumping into the Hearthstone Mercenaries gameplay showcase that went live on the Hearthstone YouTube channel today, August 31st. There's a lot of interesting stuff that came out of this gameplay showcase, and I did it live on twitch.tv/slakks at 10:30 Central Time, very, very early showcase, but I figured it was a good way to jump back in to some new Hearthstone videos. For those that don't know what Hearthstone Mercenaries is, it is a tactical RPG game similar to Slay the Spire, as you control mercenaries from the characters based on World of Warcraft. Before this gameplay showcase, I was very keen on seeing the overall style of Hearthstone Mercenaries, the usage of equipment, and what exploration features we would get coming from a card game mentality. I also want to see what Blizzard takes away from Slay the Spire and what makes that title so prominent in the RPG genre. But nonetheless, let's jump on into the gameplay showcase. Alright, here we go. We saw a lot of cool new mercenaries and or bosses, I guess. We saw King Crush, we saw Zyrella, we saw Grommash, we saw Garrosh, we saw Dawngrasp. Ooh, okay.
Welcome. I'm Ben Lee, Game Director of Hearthstone, and today we'll be taking you on an in-depth exploration of our brand new game mode, Hearthstone Mercenaries. But what's this new setting all around me? Welcome to the Mercenary Village. This will be a central home base for you and your growing crew of mercenaries, evolving over time as you take on bounties and battle other players. Mercenaries is truly unlike any other mode we've added to Hearthstone before. It offers a persistent world full of choice and progression to explore alongside your personalized team of Azeroth's legends. Today we're excited to share numerous mercenary reveals, a tour of the village, and some big surprises that you won't want to miss. So whether you're a thrill-seeking opportunist or a benevolent bounty hunter, there's always a job and the promise of treasure for those of you up to the challenge.
Ooh, okay.
Thank you all for joining us. And now, let's jump straight in with our official trailer reveal for Hearthstone Mercenaries.
Let's go.
Kazakus, how long have we plotted and planned?
My dear Lady Presta, it's finally our grand opportunity!
We'll need some mercs to do our dirty work. Help me if you can, oh, I'm in trouble. Bring these bounties in and I'll pay double.
Okay, so that was not very...
Riches and a snack.
Oh, get yourself some gear and grab a potion. Glory waits for you and a promotion.
You know it.
Just be smart and wear your thinking cap.
Now, honest labor really can be its own reward. But life is so much sweeter now you have a great sword.
Okay, so we saw this.
You can be a mercenary. They say that fortune favors the bold, but fortune only favors when you got enough gold. You're influencing people and you're winning some friends. The story goes, the glory grows, but the fun never
They said over 40, I believe. They said over 40 mercenaries as of right now. We don't know who those will be.
When you're a mercenary.
Ooh, okay, alright.
Welcome back to the village, everyone. We hope you enjoyed that trailer. Mercenaries drops you into the rich world of Azeroth with a unique perspective. Instead of being the almighty individual hero, you'll play leader to your own mercenary enterprise. This journey will take you to the far reaches of Azeroth, hunting bounties for increasingly dangerous foes to reap the rewards. And these jobs don't only net you nice coin, the battles along the way level up your mercenaries to unlock abilities and allow you to find upgradable items. Now I'm sure you're eager to venture off to take on your own dangerous and hopefully lucrative bounties, but first, let's join Valera in her hunt for Hagar and get familiar with an entirely new system of combat in Hearthstone Mercenaries.
Here we go. Let's see how it looks.
You may remember from our BlizzCon line announcement that Mercenaries is Hearthstone's take on an RPG experience with roguelike mechanics. Let's start by taking a look at a mercenary in play, where you'll first notice familiar attack and health stats. What's totally different is that each mercenary has a core set of unique abilities which appear as actions when selected. There's tremendous variety in how these can impact the battlefield.
Not a big fan of the look as of right now,
buffing, summoning, sizzling, and of course, going face. Wait, there is no face. That's right. In Mercenaries, victory is achieved by wiping out your opponent's team. That might take some getting used to for Rexxar.
Okay.
All abilities have a speed value, and some also have a cooldown. Speed determines the order of actions. The lower the number, the sooner that action will take place. Cooldowns, on the other hand, tend to come with the strongest abilities. When a mercenary comes into play, any of their abilities with cooldowns will be inactive until enough turns have passed. Once used, the timer starts again, and you'll definitely want to be making use of these potential game changers. In each round of combat, you'll first choose your team's moves in the command phase before watching the battle unfold all at once. Positioning, timing, and strategic planning of your turn are critical in the outcome of combat. This can be tough, as the state of the board may change considerably once the spells start flying, and that clutch meteor finisher you were banking on won't happen if the mercenary has fallen. So, you've probably also noticed the red, green, and blue coloring of each mercenary's stat bars.
Okay.
These represent if a minion is a protector, fighter, or caster respectively.
Okay, I like that. I think that's cool.
We call these roles, and they play a major part in the makeup of mercenaries. Let's take a look with a couple examples. Meet the main tanks of mercenaries. While they aren't always the quickest, protectors love holding the front line and taking most of the punishment so that your squishies don't have to. With abilities that grant taunt and a cartload of endurance to boot, they'll help your team control the flow of the fight. Take a look
I do
at
like that.
Jiraxxus,
That's interesting.
Eridar Lord of the Burning Legion. As you might notice, protectors can also dish out some serious damage. Trust me, you don't want to catch these fists if he's teamed up with demons. Next, let's take a look at the wielder of Tusks of Manaroth himself, Garrosh Hellscream. If anyone knows how to properly armor up for a fight, it's this guy. The more enemies, the merrier, as Garrosh's Horde Strength ability will add increasing bonuses to his health. Maybe think twice before you summon that extra minion. When you're looking to cut through the competition with raw damage and finesse, fighters are the way to go. Their high attack makes them key threats on the battlefield, along with abilities that keep your team's offensive pressure building. Check out War Master Voon. Favored by dragons and feared by enemies, this fighter will keep your opponents running for cover with a flurry of flame and axes. Voon can also summon additional dragons into the fight for a quick strike that simultaneously empowers his fire breath. If up close and personal is more your style, you're going to want a fighter like Samuro in your squad. Unleash a whirlwind of blade on your foes, or create deadly deception with mirror
I think that's interesting.
images.
I like this
While the
style
Blade Master
so far.
doesn't have the highest health, direct damage is always a gambit.
Not a big fan of the
a
look,
well-timed
but
whirling blade can mitigate future damage.
I think the gameplay is good.
There's no denying that blades and brawn
Mercenary
contribute to a
stats are not
formidable
final, if you
team's
notice that
front
on the
line.
bottom.
But you'll also want to bring some backline firepower and a good healer. That's where casters come in. They keep your team in the fight and unleash devastating spell combos to turn the tide of battle. Who better to start with than our favorite prodigal priest, Anduin Writ? Harness the power of Holy to buff and sustain your team's health throughout the fight, while also delivering consistent damage to the enemy team. As a leader of humans in Azeroth, Anduin's abilities are significantly amplified when fighting alongside more of his kin. Moving on, ready your ahs and chat, because Blink Fox is up next as another caster in Hearthstone Mercenaries. This crafty K9 of the Arcane uses the enemy team's abilities against them, while also refreshing and hastening friendly cooldowns. Notice the Arcane combo keyword. In Mercenaries, this means a bonus effect if a previous arcane ability was used by another member of the team this turn.
Okay,
yes,
that's nice. I do think that's interesting.
For all schools of magic. We'll be checking out examples of spell school synergy teams later on in the show. Let's cover one more central piece of the role system. In Mercenaries, there's a relationship of strengths and weaknesses to consider when building teams and choosing engagements. Protectors deal double damage to fighters, fighters deal double damage to casters, casters deal double damage to protectors. That 2x damage multiplier applies to both attacks and abilities,
very easy,
but only on offense.
Don't have to worry too much about
Opportunities
stats.
to target these weaknesses and deal critical damage
understanding.
are contextually highlighted on the game board, and when planning bounties, you'll be able to discover some information to use this system to your favor.
I do like
Most
this map,
of the time,
but we
it's
will
best
go
to
over
have
that
a team that can confidently take on a range of roles.
Video.
In the battlefield, capitalizing on the weaknesses of your opponent's roles while being mindful of your own is a critical piece of tactical decisions. I hope you enjoyed a first look at a handful of mercenaries, and there's so much more to explore. How stats and abilities rank up as you level, treasures you discover in bounties that modify and amplify abilities, and even unique equipment for each mercenary that bolsters their kit in a variety of ways. We'll be unveiling all of that today, so stick around. Now let's check back in with Hasiba at the campfire.
I like that. I think that's very interesting, but we'll have to see how the gameplay looks.
And a warm and cozy welcome from the campfire to all of you. Let's start the tour here at the centerpiece of your mercenary village, where visitors can stop by for a little R&R. During their stay, these campfire guests often have tasks you can pursue for special rewards. But the question of who will come to your village and when is mostly up to chance. In-game, visitors will appear around your campfire as seen here. Clicking on the campfire presents you with the task board, where you can see the objectives along with rewards for completion. This is pretty similar to Hearthstone's quest system.
Very interesting.
Just remember to come back to the task board after you've fulfilled the requirements to collect your reward. Speaking of task rewards, let's talk about equipment, which is often a major reason you'll want to complete a specific visitor's job.
Okay, so that's what they mean by equipment. It's not necessarily like a
through their equipment.
Item tier list similar to Slay the Spire. It's more so
with 3
a
unique
boost
options
to your
to collect
abilities.
and upgrade. Let's take a look at what Illidan is able to acquire. Razor Fist will provide a straightforward damage bonus to his Winged Assault ability. We all know Illidan loves to attack, and this defensive option will prove useful if your team is lacking in the heals department. I'm sure you can already imagine what's coming next. Of course, you'll make for one very happy betrayer if you can acquire and equip the Warglaves of Azeroth. With Warglaves in hand, Outcast attack becomes a massive threat to the enemy's flanks. Moving on, let's introduce Cairn Bloodhoof. As you'll see, his equipment options present a significant strategic decision. Reincarnation pairs great with this tanking Tauren, and may even foil your opponent's command phase game
I
plan.
wonder if there's more than just
Totem
3 equipments.
Will amp up the bonus
if
from
there's
Endura
more and
Torah,
you're able to get different ones, I think that's cool. But as far as we know, the abilities are only 1 in 3 options.
Can make
only have
Cairn
3 options, sorry. So
frustrating hindrance to
I
enemy
wish there
teams
was a
that
little
rely on
bit
getting
more
in
in
early
terms of
attacks and buffs. Making sure your
creativity
mercenaries are well
in terms of the
equipped is
abilities
always
and
going to give you
items,
an
but
edge
we'll
in
see.
combat. So be sure to keep an eye on those visitors and complete their tasks to gear up. And hello again, Ben.
Cheers, Sasiba. You know, sitting around a nighttime campfire before going into battle, it almost reminds me of...
Ben! I think something's wrong with the portal.
Ah, of course, Diablo. Today, we're thrilled to announce that Hearthstone will be welcoming and fully embracing a character from a different Blizzard universe.
Wait, what?
Initially playable as a mercenary, it is now our pleasure to introduce you to the arch rival of the Nephilim.
What? Diablo in Hearthstone. What the fuck? It's kind of crazy.
I will feast upon this world.
Oh, that's kind of sick.
You now speak to the Lord of Terror. There is no escape.
That's pretty cool. And he's a damage too.
Before me. Abandon all hope. Not even death can save you from me.
Very cool. I like that.
The Lord of Terror
tie across.
will go live
Nice.
at the launch of Mercenaries and can be found in Mercenaries packs. He'll also be available in the Diamond Diablo pre-purchase bundle, starting today. We hope you're as excited as we are to bring a little terror to the tavern.
Wait,
Nice.
you're bringing what to my tavern? Oh, hey again, everyone. Now, of course, any good village needs an upstanding tavern, and this will play an important role in your mercenary's journey. Let's take a look in-game. Once you build a tavern, it will function as your mercenary collection, where you can
Okay, cool.
customize teams and individual characters. Like the card collection, you'll be able to navigate the full library of mercenaries. Each has their own page to manage portraits, abilities, and equipment. We love that Mercenaries opens up a new way to tell stories with this amazing cast of heroes and villains. That extends to the art, with representations of the characters in different stages of
very
their
cool.
own lore. We
I
all
do like
know
that.
Arthas and his path from beloved prince to Lich King. When you first unlock a mercenary, it will have the default portrait as shown for Arthas here. Each character also has 2 alternates which can be earned from mercenary packs and in some cases tasks. Their portraits are a snapshot of notable growth and notoriety to collect, and you'll find the theme consistent throughout the roster. On top of the portraits, there are also different frame rarities, from normal to golden to diamond, and each bringing more gravitas with added animations and effects. Next, feast your eyes on this young and adorable King Crush. He may have started out cute as a button, but once those teeth grew in... Yeah, distract your enemies with extreme cuteness or intimidate with pure terror. It's up to you. As you unlock and collect portraits, you'll open up new ways to bring the mercenary characters together. Maybe you want to have Illidan, Tyrande, and Malfurion all teaming up during simpler times. In addition to customizing cosmetics, you'll come here to upgrade abilities and equipment. In Mercenaries, unlocking a higher rank of ability significantly increases that character's power level. When a new mercenary joins your collection at level 1, they will have a single ability. The second unlocks at level 5, and the third unlocks when the character reaches level 15. Let's take a look at Millhouse's kit of Arcane Assault to compare his ability ranks. These are typically a linear increase to effectiveness, but in the case of Arcane Bolt, you'll be able to ramp up the spell damage you gain more quickly in addition to a boost in raw damage. Upgrading is done through a new in-game resource system called Mercenary Coins. Each character has their own coin, which you'll earn from bounties, PvP, and mercenary packs. Now let's shift gears to teams. In the Tavern's Mercenary Collection, you'll see a sidebar to manage teams similar to standard card decks. A team in Mercenaries is made up of 6. While you can only have 3 in play, the remaining 3 will make up the bench. When one of your in-play mercenaries falls in battle, you'll bring in a member from the bench at the end of that combat round.
Okay, so 6
So far
total.
today, we've taken a look at how this huge new mode's gameplay
You don't just
works,
lose and
with
then have to
several
redo it, you
reveals of
have-
mercenaries and their abilities, equipment, and art. What do you think, Asiba? Are we ready to dive into team building?
Absolutely. All of you have now seen the core components that define an individual mercenary. Now the fun really starts as we start looking at the bigger picture of maximizing synergies. You never know exactly which mercenaries you'll discover in the world, but there are a variety of opportunities to bring them together in complementary ways. Let's start with a few examples of the most familiar relationships: minion types. Murlocs offer versatile strength on their own and work together to overwhelm their opponents with agile aggression and power in numbers.
Okay, so the minion types still do pertain to this as well, which I think is interesting.
We got you covered. You'll also find plenty of Azeroth's fiercest beasts and renowned handlers.
I like that.
Lead a demon army into battle and dominate your enemies with overwhelming numbers.
Give your demons 8 HP. Okay. Oh, that was cool. I like that. I like that they're still maintaining card value
That's just a few
and
of
types,
the many minion types to find and collect in
but also allowing you
having
to
1
do
to
it
2 ways
and
to
make up
combine their
different
strengths on the
party
battlefield is highly beneficial.
party styles, I guess you'd say. I think
Now
that's
let's
pretty
talk about an entirely different way mercenaries can combine their skills to make a successful team.
Spell schools have become an integral part of Hearthstone, and we're extending that approach to mercenaries in
So
a
they
major
are doing
way.
a lot.
While the loyalties and motivations
I'll
of certain
talk at the end
characters
about
may
it.
clash, combining wielders of a specific magic will unlock incredibly powerful combos and teamwork. Fire synergy can come from a traditional fire mage to elementals to a whirlwind of flames itself, and can chain their abilities to unleash AoE destruction.
Okay, so they have combos in terms of the ability types, in terms of the class types, and as well as the spell schools. I think
that
that's
team
very
looks
cool.
pretty intense. I think we need to chill out a bit and move on to the next spell school.
Okay. Warden, Jaina. Okay. Just to be all ice stuff.
There's clearly some awesome power to be harnessed using the elemental spell schools. But now let's look at the tremendous support and sustain a holy team can provide.
Okay. It's very interesting.
Now we can't show holy without its polar opposite, the suppression and control that shadow magic lends.
So they do have
can be
quite a bit of
deadly to clever
mercenaries, which I
play.
think is cool. I think without having specific mercenaries, though, it might be a little bit hard to do these combos initially, but we'll see how easy or how accessible it is to get new mercenaries as you continuously play.
Again, there are plenty more spell schools to explore and build teams around in mercenaries, but I hope you're all enjoying a preview to start considering how these synergies can be leveraged.
Definitely. We didn't even check out nature yet, and that's gotta be one of my favorites. But the show must go on. In addition to spell schools and minion types, there are other outside-the-box ways to approach combat strategy. Let's check out one more example that uses tricks, traps, and the combo keyword to build momentum.
Okay.
Remember that a team has 6 mercenaries, so combining 2 to 3 of these themes amongst your roster is a pretty good idea. Alright, that wraps up this stop of the tour. I'm sticking around at the tavern. Where are you taking these fine viewers next, Hasiba?
We're actually headed towards the portal. See you in a bit, Joe. Now it's time to see how you'll access the world and take on bounties in Mercenaries. So the portal here is what we call the travel point. Initially, you'll have to make do with a reliable Dark Moon mare to get the job done. But as you upgrade the village, the technology and capability of the travel point increases. Let's head into the game to learn a little bit more about... Wait, is that Sarge? Sarge, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in the tavern. What do you mean there's not enough cheese? There's so much cheese in there. Okay, fine. If you have to go, then pick me up a block of Darnassian Blow, please. And be careful, it's dangerous out there. We're very excited to announce that Sarge will be available as a new World of Warcraft mount when the game mode launches. Complete the Mercenaries tutorial and start your first bounty to automatically unlock Sarge on your WoW count. Interacting with the travel point is your first step to starting a bounty, which you can think of as a PvE mission. There are several zones to explore, along with progressively higher level targets to hunt. Let's dive in and head to Felwood. Here we have the available bounties with some information to help you decide on the right job. The target of a bounty will be the final boss of that run, so noting their role can be beneficial in bringing your A-team of counters. I think we'll take on Raven the Hunter's bounty for some good old Furbolg fighting. Remembering that our target is a protector, I'm thinking this arcane awesomeness team here will fare quite well, since it has all of our highest level caster mercs. So, in we go to Felwood to find Raven. Every bounty map is procedurally generated, meaning you'll get unique map layouts along with randomized encounter enemies and points of interest to navigate. Clicking on the nodes gives you some details, but you'll also need to use your intuition and decide which routes to take along the way. Let's unpack some of the obstacles and rewards for clearing them that you'll find on your adventures. Minor encounters are made up of enemies that should be manageable given your team is on par with that bounty's power level. Keep your guard up though, as losing members on your team
see what
will
happens
restrict
with
your
HP
options in the long run.
round.
Here, you'll find not all enemies have an alignment, and they can also have keyword effects like Death Rattle. Always take a moment to scope out their moves and strategize a game plan. Now, the exciting part. Encounter victories reward experience to all members of your party. On top of that, one mercenary in your party will be rewarded with a discovered treasure that can bolster stats and abilities or add an entirely new spell or attribute. Treasure bonuses last throughout that bounty run.
So that's kind of similar to Slay the Spire, but a little bit different where you don't grab a card necessarily.
As long as one mercenary is still standing at the end of a battle, all damage on that mercenary will be fully recovered before the next encounter. Elite encounters work the same way, but the risks and rewards are far greater. These enemies will offer a major challenge, and it's unlikely that your party will come out unscathed. Then again, think of the super treasure. Substantially bigger bonuses come from besting these elites and can give you a crucial advantage for the final battle. You'll also come across spirit healers that simply revive any fallen members of your party. After limping away from an elite encounter, this can be a beautiful discovery that saves your bounty run. Beyond encounters and spirit healers, keep an eye out for the many other curveball points of interest that fill the roads to bounty bosses. Take the Mysterious Stranger, where choosing to engage can reveal a helpful ally, confounding adversary, or a neutral surprise. Or you can find and activate boons that empower all characters of a specific role for the rest of the bounty, including enemies. Alas, after battling your way through the twists and turns, you've made it to the end of the line. The final and greatest challenge will be your bounty target, occupying a special boss room along with their hoarded treasures. Now it's time to bring out the best of your team and maximize the value of every treasure, boon, and bonus to finish the job. Successfully completing the bounty will immediately open the treasure chest for those sweet, sweet rewards. However, if your team was wiped out at any point in the run, you'll only retain the experience gains of the run. Any particular bounty can be attempted and completed an unlimited number of times, with each instance offering a new random map with the same final boss. Since you can also glean the potential rewards by inspecting the treasure chest of a bounty's map, there's many cases where replaying and beating the same bounty for that certain special mercenary loot
so there is replayability.
Let's come back to the travel point menu, where you'll also see additional difficulties. A quick note that completing all of the bounties in each zone on normal will get your team well into the 20 to 25 level range. So what comes next? Once you upgrade the travel point in your village from a horse to a flight point, sorry horse, heroic difficulty will be unlocked. Bounty difficulties can be toggled at any time in the village. Heroic versions of a bounty will obviously scale up.
So it's kind of like a little bit of like Battlegrounds and Hearthstone
mixed in. But there's also
in
an increase in map
like a more
size and
PvE
layout
element,
that ramps up the challenge
without
and
the
stakes of each run.
randomness of
Now, if you're
Battlegrounds
also
or
wondering,
chess
hey
kind of style
Asiba,
games.
could you please
Yeah, it's cool.
explain that giant portal behind you? Well, that's actually the Tier 3 upgrade of the travel point. At launch, only normal and heroic bounties will be available. However, in an upcoming content update, we'll be opening up legendary difficulty, accessed by fully upgrading the travel point of your village to the portal here.
Okay.
This is just one big piece of the content that we have planned to follow the release of Mercenaries, as we'll also regularly be adding themed updates with new bounties, mercenaries, and the additions to the village. With that, you're well equipped to start tackling the wide world of bounties that awaits outside the village.
Very cool.
So now let's shift gears and talk about PvP in Mercenaries. In the essence of civility, we like to keep all the drama contained here in the fighting pit. This functions as your access point to battling other players. And now
I don't think I'd be a
I'll
big
let
fan
our
of
resident
PvP, to be honest with
PvP
you.
expert Joe fill you in on what to expect.
So you've bested a few bounties, and now your party is ready to challenge other players.
I like that shirt.
Well, step on down into the fighting pit. I'm game designer Joe Killian, here to show you the ropes of PvP and Mercenaries. Once you've unlocked and built a fighting pit in your own humble village, you'll be ready to get started. Inside, you can select from your teams and prepare, just like choosing a deck in Standard. At launch, a Mercenaries PvP match will consist of both players bringing a single team of 6, and just like in a bounty encounter, defeating your opponent's entire party will secure victory. One key difference from other game modes is that you take your party into combat as is. That means the progress you've earned in mercenary levels, ability tiers, and equipment all play a direct role into your PvP
so
prowess.
if you're a grinder,
As you can
like,
imagine,
you
the
destroy
matchmaking in
everyone. That's-
Mercenaries
I
is
don't really
quite
like
a
that
bit more
much.
complex than other game modes, since it needs to weigh all of these aspects to ensure relatively even power levels.
Okay.
While you'll always be paired up against opponents with teams of similar strength, we love that these factors open
there
up
is
a
a little
ton
bit
of
of
potential
PvP,
for unique asymmetrical matchups.
MMR.
Now let's
okay.
talk strategy for a moment. Unlike PvE, where you can gather some information on what you'll be up against, in PvP, your team will face a mixed bag of opponents with varying roles and synergies. You may find yourself up against a protector-heavy orc team, or thrown into a fiery foray of elementals and casters. I like to bring beasts and nature casters, so I have good coverage of all the roles and some powerful synergies. If you want to come out swinging with all fighters, that choice is yours. Players will earn daily rewards just for participating in PvP, but with great ratings comes great rewards, and at increasing milestones, you'll unlock more and more mercenary reward chests. However, unlike the ranked chests from Standard, these contain mercenary-specific items, like mercenary packs and coins, so you can continue to expand and improve your mercenaries roster. We're incredibly excited to open up an entirely new way to PvP in Hearthstone, and now you know everything you need to get started,
I don't know if I'd play
so it's up
PvP
to
that
you and
much.
your
I feel
party.
like I'd probably stick
Good luck in the
with,
fighting pit, and we'll see you
probably stick
in
with the
Mercenaries.
PvE stuff. I think the PvP just goes a little bit too far on everything, but we'll see.
Welcome back, everyone. One of my favorite aspects in PvP and Mercenaries is that you can't see your opponent's command phase actions, which often obscures combat ability order, adding a new
that is
layer
true.
of
I didn't
challenge
think
to
of that.
tactical decisions. On the other hand, watching some good combat chaos unfold is half the fun. Alright, let's touch on a few other areas of the village, starting with the merchant cart. Here you'll find the Mercenaries shop with, you guessed it, Mercenaries packs. This new
Okay.
kind of Hearthstone pack contains Mercenaries items with the same pack opening feel. Inside, you'll find coins for crafting mercenaries or upgrading abilities and equipment, along with actual new mercenaries and even alternate portraits. Occasionally, you might find limited time
So
offers
it's like an in-game
and
sh-
deals
in-game
here
shop,
from the
but you
merchant.
probably use
So it's good to
points
stop by and check in.
from what you
Tucked in over here is
accumulate
the
while you're
mailbox
playing, I'm assuming.
to keep your village connected to the world. Besides your Mercenaries team's fan mail, of course, we'll also be sending updates on new content, patch changes, and other fun stuff here.
Okay.
So keep an eye out for the handy exclamation mark that you have unread mail. Oh hey, I think I see Joe doing a bit of combat training over there. Keep it up, Joe.
Thanks, Asiba. That's enough training for now. Let me show you the last stop on our tour, where I'll swap out swords and shields for blueprints. This workshop here is where all the constructing and upgrading happens. Okay. Throughout the day, we've explored how different areas of the village contribute to our overall journey in Mercenaries. But at the start, you'll basically have an open plot of land as your empty canvas. Then it's up to you to decide what you want to build and upgrade. When it comes to building up your village, everything is done with gold, and only gold. The first step is to create a starting version of each structure to unlock its benefits. For example, the fighting pit gives you access to PvP. From there, some structures can be upgraded for added benefits and bonuses. Upgrading the campfire, for instance, opens up more spots for visitors to come give you tasks. Speaking of the campfire, let's see how the others are doing. Well, I don't know about you two, but after all that constructing, it feels good to be back by the campfire.
You know, Millhouse conjured these, and supposedly Arcane Infusion tastes like blueberries.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, hey everyone at home. Along with what Joe talked through, we have plenty more exciting additions planned for the village, and you'll see those arrive in a future update. Be sure to keep some gold tucked away to get your mercenaries the new digs.
It uses your gold that you already have on your account. I wish it would have used just a zone.
You both rocked it. Thank you so much to all of you who came along with us in seeing what Mercenaries is all about. We couldn't be more excited to welcome you into this massive new adventure. Whether your goal is conquering all the heroic bounties, ascending the PvP leaderboards, or collecting a legendary roster of renowned heroes and villains. On behalf of the team, we sincerely appreciate you continuing to support, play, and communicate with us around the hearth. We're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on today's announcements, and we'll see you at the launch of Mercenaries on October the 12th. Until next time.
Wow,
we'll
the name drop, October 12th. All right, very good video. Very good video. I really like that. I think that was really good. A couple gripes. I'm not a big fan of... Wasn't a big fan of the look of it, but I mean, it is Hearthstone. They're going to stay that. I wish they would have went a little bit more like Slay the Spire kind of style look, maybe like a Darkest Dungeon kind of looking thing. I do think, though, overall, this is going to be a really fun game mode. I like the way that the maps and everything look. Some of those reveals of the mercenaries look like there's a lot of really cool ways that they're kind of keeping that Hearthstone value in the game in terms of the spell schools, the class types, the combo systems. I think that's really, really interesting, and I definitely think this is going to do a lot for Hearthstone. I'm not a big fan of the PvP, but I think I'm just kind of a very much like, I play Hearthstone to be competitive. I play the regular game. I think it's really, really cool. I think this is going to be a really, really big change for Hearthstone in terms of the new game mode, as you know, similar to how Battlegrounds affected the game, brought a lot of really cool things into the game, new people, new players, new eyes. So very, very excited. I also do want to mention I have an article in the description down below by Flux Flasher, who did a good overview of what is to come with Hearthstone Mercenaries, what we already know right now, and if you don't have any information on the game and the new game mode, you can definitely go check out that article. But that is it for today's YouTube video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys are excited for Hearthstone Mercenaries, and stay tuned for many Dota, League of Legends, and Hearthstone videos to come. Thank you guys again for watching, and have a good day. Peace out.